Good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and start. So we are going to be up a little bit today. We will be down on the floor a little bit today. So I like to have a mat nearby, but you can always modify most of these exercises, if not all of them, to be standing or using a chair for support. 4, 3, 2. All right, bring it in the center. We're going to just swing the arm across and add a little bit of a hip rotation. So we're going to start to rotate the body a little bit. Good. Reach and reach. All right, let's reach it up and add a little bit of a side bend. So a little bit of a side sway with our hips, stretching the side of our body from our fingertips down to our hips and maybe a little bit down into our knees and our ankles. At 8, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it into the center, feet hip width apart, shoulders out, or shoulders down and back, arms out, thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling. Moving from the shoulders, just going to do nice good arm circles. Good, let's change direction. So keep those shoulders away from the ears. Nice long neck, nice tall posture. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the arms down, and now we're just going to do a side bend, and our hips are not going to move. So our hips are nice and steady. We're lifting the ribs, lengthening that space between our ribs and our hips. Good, and here's 2 and 1. Bring it in the center. Feet hip width apart, toes pointing forwards. We're going to start with our hip circles. Good, let's change direction. We usually find that one side seems to work a little bit better than the other. Good, bring it in the center. Now we're going to rotate from the hips, take those feet out. And now we're going to go for a little bit more of a duck-footed position. Good, change direction. She has this fascination with one of my bags. Like, she has to crawl into the bag and has to investigate what is inside of it. Good, bring it in. Now we're gonna rotate from the hips and we're gonna point our toes in, and she's upset because now she can't get in the bag. So she doesn't have a lap, she can't get in the bag. Her routine is all messed up. Good, change direction. 3, 2, and 1. All right, bring it into the center. We're going to do our leg swings. So hold on to something if you need to. And we're just going to swing it front to back. And if you're feeling a little unsteady today, we'll just blame it on the wind. Because if you're where I'm at, we are in a wind advisory today. And you can tell everything's getting blown over, knocked over. My garbage can decided to go on vacation. It wanted to move south too. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Switch it over to the other leg. So nice and tall. Good swing, front to back. And you can start with small swings. We're just trying to wake up those hips. So this is one, start small. And as you start to go through, you get a little bit bigger, a little bit higher, a little bit looser. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. So if you'd like, you can have your hands on a wall. We're going to take the leg out and we're going to cross in front. And you can start with little swings. Just think like the pendulum on a clock. Then as you start to loosen up, you're going to start to make that swing a little bit bigger. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring it in, switching over to the other leg. So out and in. And again, just start with your little pendulum swings. Try to get at least a little bit of a cross in front. So the cross in front is kind of important. Good, 8. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, shake it out. Give yourself a little bit of space. We're going to take those legs nice and wide, toes forward or maybe a little bit out to the corner. We're going to go double side lunge, double side lunge. So we're starting to work on those inner thighs. And this isn't a fast, super bouncy move. We're just going to go a couple of deeper stretches, a little bit of a back off in the middle. So side and side. So chest is up. So while we're warming up, for those of you especially that are live, I will say there's an area near me that does not have power. I think I'll be good since I am so close to downtown and to the hospital. But if something happens, there's a really good chance that I lost power. Good, 2 and 1. Come up in the center, keep your legs nice and wide. We're going to hinge at our hips. We're going to reach it forwards, middle, and then back. So forward, middle, and back. And we don't want to go down with bent knees and soft knees, and we don't want to go down with straight knees but a rounded back. I want you to try to stay nice and tall. We're working on our hamstrings. We're also working on our upper body posture. Hinging. I always start kind of high with this one, and as we move through it, I start to feel a little bit looser, and I can go a little bit farther. And again, we do forward, we do between our feet, and then try to reach back behind you. Good, we have one more here. Forward, middle, back. Carefully bring yourself all the way up. Make sure the blood is going where it's supposed to. Arms out to the side, side lunge, and a little torso rotation. So we can start to reach for our thigh. We can reach for our knee. Maybe you reach for your calf or your ankle. So we're focusing on opening your shoulder up towards the ceiling while the opposite shoulder moves down towards the floor. So reach it up and down. So it's a little bit like windmills. If anybody has done windmills in a kettlebell class. Good, we have 2 more. Reach. And last one. Now I'm going to turn. Most of the rest of you can just be where you are. Legs are wide. We're going to walk it out to a plank position. So hinge it forwards. Walk it out. And we're going to lift up, down dog, and then go back to a plank. So down dog and plank. Now you can do down dog and then carefully reach your hand towards your opposite foot. So down dog, plank, down dog, and plank. 4, 3, 2, good, and 1. And we're going to carefully walk ourselves all the way back up to a standing position. So we're going to roll the shoulders, walk around, give yourself a little bit of a break. Excuse me, grab a quick drink of water. We're going to get into our workout. We're going to start working on our neck, and we're going to need a dumbbell. And it doesn't have to be a super heavy dumbbell, but that dumbbell is going to help pull down on our shoulder for a couple of exercises. And then we're going to use that as a little bit of resistance for the third one. So I'm going to grab my 8, my orange one, just because it's easier to see. We're going to take our feet hip width apart. Left arm holds that dumbbell, shoulder down, and we're going to just take our ear to our shoulder, allow this arm to pull the shoulder down, and we're going to very gently nod our head yes. So just right here, just nod your head yes. So up and down. We're still with that tilt. Try to make sure that our body is not tilting. Try to make sure that we're not, you know, what is our head doing? So it's just sideways, lift and lower. Good, and now we're gonna hold it and we're gonna shake our head no. So we're gonna kind of tuck our chin, look towards the floor, lift our chin, look towards the ceiling. And here's 3, 2, and 1, and then we're gonna release and we're gonna bring it up and we're gonna switch it over to the other side. So we're going to just have our shoulder pulled down and back a little bit, like your shoulder blade is down and back in your back pocket. And this is my goofy shoulder, so this one just feels weird. We're gonna tilt our ear towards our shoulder, and then we're going to very gently nod our head yes. And you're always gonna have one side that you're gonna feel it a little bit more than the other. 3. Here's 2. And 1. And now we're gonna hold that tilt and we're gonna shake our head no. So look towards your armpit, look towards the ceiling. So armpit and ceiling. Good, 2 more. 2 and 1, and release, bring it up. Let's switch the dumbbell back over to the other side. So we're going to do a little bit of a turn to the corner and then a little bit of a tuck. And we're going to hold that position, and now we're going to do 10 backward shoulder rolls. So we're going to hold our head in that position, and we're just going to do 10 rolls. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to go the other direction. So keep the tuck in the turn, and we're just going to go forwards. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Switching hands, a little bit of a shakeout. Same thing on the other side. So we're going to do a little turn and a little tuck, and let's start with those backward shoulder rolls. Good. 4, 3, this is my side that feels kind of crunchy. 2, and 1, go the other direction. So taking it forward. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the head into the center and release. We're going to go ahead and take that dumbbell, set it off to the side, and we are going to head down to the floor. We're going to keep going with a little bit of our shoulder work today. So we're going to be on our tummies, or we're going to actually start on our hands and knees. And we're going to do some more shoulder rolls with a little bit of a head turn. So we're going to be in a hands and knees position. You can have your hands on a wall if you need to. We're going to turn and look to the left, and we're going to do 5 forward shoulder rolls. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to switch sides, look to the left, and again, we're going to do 5 forward rolls. 4 and 5. Now we're going to look back to the left and we're going to do 5 backward rolls. So we're going to bring it up, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to look to the right, 5 backward rolls. 3, 4, and 5. We're going to bring it in. We're going to walk it back so we're all the way down onto our tummies this time. And we're going to do a rear delt lift and hold. So your first option is just arms out to the side, palms facing down, shoulders away from the ears. Option 2 is you can do a few where you rotate the shoulder and the thumb is pointing up towards the ceiling. And we're going to start with a lift and hold. So shoulders away from the ears, palms down, lift and hold. So we're just trying to get our arms up off the floor as high as we can without shrugging our shoulders up by our ears. And then take it down. Good, let's do that again. So lift and hold. 3, 2, 1, and down. Trying for a 5 count. Lift and hold. 2, 1, and down. Again, lift and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now we're going to do 4 more. We're going to try to take the shoulder down, rotate from the shoulder, thumb pointing to the ceiling, lift it up. So lift, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Keep that open chest, open shoulder. Let's lift. 3, 2, 1, and down. And if you need to, if you're standing, you can do this one against a wall. Good, lift, 5, 2, 1, and down. And we have one more just like this. Lift and hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Good, let's bring those hands by our hips now. Shoulders away from the ears, palms facing up towards the ceiling. And we're going to do 5-second holds, and we're going to do both at the same time. So we're going to lift it up, hold it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Good. So shoulders down and away from the ears, lift and hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Good. Lift and hold. So again, you can do this against a wall. You can do this with a forward fold. And down. This is a good one to do. Good posture. Lift and hold. Forehead is maybe resting on a counter or a tabletop. Good. Let's do one more here. So lift and hold. 5, 3, 2, 1. Good. Go ahead and bring it in. Hands are going to be by the chest. Take a nice deep breath in. Brace your core. We're going to lift and hold and push ourselves up and back into a good child's pose. Sitting your hips back towards your heels, stretching out underneath your arms. And I'm not sure if it's from yesterday's workout or if it's from cleaning or a combination of both, but my upper and mid back are definitely talking to me today. I'm sure at least some of it was from our 2-2 count on the rows yesterday. So nice deep breaths, nice, just a little wiggle. Good. Let's go ahead and pull ourselves forwards into a hands and knees position. Again, you can do this one sitting, standing, whatever feels better. You can have your hands on a chair. We're going to do cat-cow. So we're going to inhale, pull the shoulders down and back, gentle arch of your low back. And then exhale, push through, tuck your tail. And this is the one I absolutely am feeling it today in my upper and mid back. Good. So inhale, lift the chin, gentle arch, low back, tuck, exhale, tuck the tail. You can tuck your chin, stretching from the back of your head all the way to your tailbone. Good. Inhale, Lift the chin. We're stretching from our chin all the way down to our belly button or to our pubic bone. And then we exhale, and again, this is the base of our head all the way to our tailbone. Good. Inhale, open. Now, if you don't want to do the inhale, exhale with the arch in the round, good, let's tuck. Then you're going to belly breathe. You're going to keep your spine nice and stable. And you're just going to breathe and expand your belly. And then exhale and pull that belly button in. Yes? And exhale. Good. We're going to do one more right here. So open up the front of the body. Deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the chin, expel the air. Good. Now we're going to do a little bit of a side-to-side cat-cow. So we're just going to take our hips side to side. Upper body stays nice and steady. It's a little bit like bringing your hips a little bit closer to your ribs. So just a little side and side. So we don't want to shift our weight. Side to side, really think it's a side bend, but in reverse. So instead of doing the side bend where the shoulder drops down towards the floor, you're doing a side bend where your hip lifts up towards the ceiling. 2 and 1. Good. Hip circle. So we're going to inhale, move to the right, exhale, and to the left. So just nice, good hip circles. Variation on cat-cow here. So working that mid-back, working your pelvis. Nice, good tuck. Good. Let's change direction. And we're going to give our wrists a little bit of a break. There's 2. Let's go ahead and bring it in. Sit the hips back towards the heels again. Reach the arms out. So a little bit of a deeper stretch if you can, and then we're giving those wrists that little bit of a rest. I know not everyone can be on hands and knees for a long period of time. Again, you can be on the floor but still have your hands elevated. That might just feel better for you. It's all about modifying and find a way that works for you. Good. Let's go ahead and come back up to hands and knees. Your option 1 is hands and knees into down dog. Your option 2 is we're going to pull the shoulders down. We're going to brace our core, tuck the toes under. We're going to lift our knees just a couple inches off the ground into bear. Then we're going to take a deep breath in, exhale, lift it up and back into down dog. And then take a deep breath in, come back to bear. Now instead of bear again, you can always just come all the way down onto your knees. Exhale, up and back into down dog. Good. So back to bear, up and back into down dog. Good. Back to bear or back to hands and knees. And then up and back into bear or down dog. So it's just a little flow. Hold it, core braced. Press it up and back, ears between the shoulders. Nice neutral spine. Good. One more time. Take it forwards. And then exhale, down dog. Good. Now we're going to hold the down dog for just a moment. We're going to start to pull ourselves into a plank, and as we do, we're going to try to step that right foot to the side of our right hand, and then we're going to carefully drop that left knee down towards the floor. So we're just in world's greatest stretch, or we're in runner's lunge. So we're getting a little bit of hamstring, a little bit of inner thigh. We're also working on our hip flexor here. We want to try not to be rounded, so maybe that means your hands are elevated. We're going to take that right hand that's closest to the front leg. We're going to drop the forearm down towards the floor. We're going to rotate. We're going to try to open the shoulder towards the ceiling. Again, we're going to rotate. Forearm moves towards the floor. Open towards the ceiling. So down towards the floor, up towards the ceiling. Good. We're going to do a couple more. And maybe you're here and then out here. That's okay. That's just you right now. And open. Good. let's take that hand back down to the floor, shoulders down, tuck that back toe under, lift the knee off the floor. We're gonna step it back into a plank. If you wanna come back into that down dog, to make it a little easier, you can, and then we're gonna start to move ourselves forward into a plank. And we're gonna step that left foot by that left hand. We're gonna carefully drop that right knee down towards the floor. Get a nice, good position. Your back knee might be farther forwards. Just depends on how you're feeling. Good, let's take that forearm down towards the floor. And then we're gonna rotate up towards the ceiling. Good, drop it forwards. And then up towards the ceiling. Good, forearm to the floor and ceiling. We have a couple more. Take it down and lift. Last one, forwards and lift. Good. All right, hand is back down on the floor, back leg. We're gonna tuck the toe and we're gonna take the leg back, going back into the plank. And then I want you to take your legs a little bit wide and I want you to start to walk yourself back. So I want you to try to keep your legs as straight as you can. We have nice wide legs. You can take them even wider if you would like. And I want you to try to hold this forward fold. Hold this forward fold, a little side to side. Now this might not be comfortable for you. You may not like having your head below your heart. This may be uncomfortable. Have your hands resting on the seat of a chair. They do not have to be on the floor. You might not be flexible enough for this yet, and that's okay. Everybody's a little bit different. So we're just gonna try to hold this forward fold. I'm doing better with this than I thought I would. Good, and now we're gonna walk it back a little bit more. We're gonna take our hands on our thighs, and we're just gonna come halfway up. This is kind of a little break. You can soften your knees a little because we're gonna go into a forward fold again. Good, so let's go into our forward fold again, hand on the floor or a chair. And like we did earlier, I want you to think about an open book. So we're going to open towards the ceiling and then come back down. And we're gonna rotate, so open towards the ceiling and then back. Again, you can have your upper body higher. So if you're like, this is just not for me, have your hand on a chair and center and reach and center. Get a couple more. So open and center and one more. Open and center. Good, and walk it back just a little bit. Have as much of a forward fold as you can. If you'd like, you can walk those legs in just a little bit. We're gonna give ourselves a little bit of kind of a hug or genie arms, and I want you to just kind of sway side to side. If you feel comfortable dropping your head towards the floor, great. If you don't, just have your arms again, have them elevated, do what feels good. 4, 3, 2, 1, good. All right, we're gonna walk ourselves back out to a nice, good plank. We're gonna carefully drop our knees down towards the floor, and we're gonna sit on our buns. We're gonna take our legs a little bit wide, shoulders away from the ears, and we're just gonna do a nice, good 90-90. So a little bit more upper body, hamstrings today. So just a nice, good 90-90. Rotate one side to the other. It's okay if your inner and outer thighs don't get to the floor, so you might look like you might be up here. If that's what your hips are saying is good for you today, then you're golden. You can do this one sitting in a chair or like on the front edge of your couch, but this is such a good one for loosening up those hips. Good, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're gonna flip it all the way over back onto hands and knees. We're not quite done with these yet. So we're going to walk it back. We're going to lift it up into either down dog, or you can sit it back into a child's pose. And we're gonna lift it up and back, down dog, and then we're gonna pull ourselves forward into a plank. You can drop your knees to the floor, point your toes, And we're going to go into a variation of up dog or cobra. And add a little wiggle. Good. Tuck the toes under, lift it up and back. Good. Down dog. And then pull your shoulders down and back into a nice good plank. Carefully bring the knees to the floor, point the toes, and if you can, start to lift that upper body. Shoulders are away from the ears. Good. Let's lift it back into down dog. I'm going to show you the child's pose variation, where you sit it back into child's pose. Press your hands into the ground. You're going to pull the shoulders down. Pull yourself forwards. And again, point your toes. And if you can, start to drop your hips towards the floor. Good. Tuck the toes under, knees up, brace the core, lift up and back. Push the floor away. Pull yourself forwards. Carefully bring the knees down. Point your toes. Lower your hips, open the chest. This one took me a while. I'm still not great at it. Good. Last one. Tuck the toes under, lift it up and back. Tailbone pointing towards the ceiling. Good. And then start to pull yourself forwards. Carefully bring the knees down, point your toes, lift it up and back. So nice, good down, up dog position. Good. Tuck the toes under. Sit your hips back towards your heels. You can come to a seated position if you'd like. Let's just do some nice, gentle wrist circles. And then the other direction. Good. We're going to make a loose fist and we're going to spread the fingers nice and wide. So we're doing a little bit of wrist and finger work today. Here's 2 and 1, and let's take the shoulders down and back. We're going to go ear to shoulder, side to side. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit looser. You feel pretty good. Good. Bring the head up, look to one side, look to the other. Good. We're going to come up to standing. We're going to bring one foot in front, come to a standing position. You can either be done, or I'm going to grab my band. We're going to do our shoulder drills with our band today. So I always say start with a light to medium band for this. Start with one set, and then work your way up to 3. Work your way up to 3. You can do this with a band that has handles, that doesn't have handles. It's completely up to you. The wider you start with your arms, the better. So start wide, and eventually you can work your way in just a little bit. So we start nice and wide, shoulders down, shoulder dislocate. So we're going to bring it up and around, and then curl to the front, and then up and around, and try to curl in the back. So up, circle, up, and it's kind of like you're trying to get your pinkies to touch in the back. So I want you to try to aim for 10. That might not be for you today, and that's okay. I think this is 4 for me. So up and back, and then bring it around, and again, open. So this is working the shoulders. Our shoulders should be able to do this. And I know that there's times when they can't do this. So sometimes surgeries and things like that. Sometimes you're just really tight and your joint is kind of locked up a little bit. As always, follow doctor instructions. So like if you've just had surgery, or if you're dealing with a pretty major injury, you might not want to do this one. If you don't have a band, you can do this with your hand against a wall and draw a circle on the wall. We'll just have to do right side, then left side. Go ahead and bring it in. A little bit of a shakeout. Now we're going to take our band and we're going to do palms facing up because we don't want to be here. We want to be here. Palms facing up, shoulders down, 10 band pulls, right side only. So brace that left side and we're going to pull. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Bring it in, and I have to give myself a break. This band's a little bit heavier. Good. Shoulders down, palm facing up right here. 10. Good. Bring it in. Again, a little bit of a shakeout. I feel the burn today. Shoulders down. We're going to do both at the same time. So brace the core. Here we go. Try to get it all the way to your chest. Try to get your hands a little bit past. There's 8, 9, and 10. Bring it in. Shake it out. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Give yourself a little bit of space. And just little shoulder rolls. Bring it in the center. Big breath in. Spread the fingers. Spread the toes. And exhale. One more time. Big breath in. And out. And you are all done.